Hello and welcome back to your June 2024 real estate update for Chino, Chino Hills, and San Bernardino County. Hi, my name is Thomas Ryan with Thomas Ryan Real Estate. I am a Southern California real estate agent based in Chino, California, with a pulse on all 5 Southern California counties. Today we have a very interesting video for you with data pulled from the previous month's market activity. In these monthly market updates, the goal is to provide you with information, statistics, and my personal anecdotes with the ultimate goal of keeping you updated on our local real estate market. In today's video, as always, we will also have some insight from Beny Rabuchin with Movement Mortgage. He will provide an update on mortgage rates, as well as a hint on the best ways to get your offer accepted. After watching this video, should you have any additional questions about the real estate market, or maybe you have aspirations of buying or selling a home, always feel free to reach out to me directly. I can be reached at 909-334-2049, or follow me on all the social media sites. All you have to do is search Thomas Ryan Real Estate. All right, without further ado, let's get into the update. If you have been watching the news lately, you may have heard that the number of active listings on the market nationally has gone up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the data and see if that remains the same for our local market. In fact, the active listings in June were up across the board, with an increase in San Bernardino County of 6%, Chino up 10%, and Chino Hills up 20%. While these may seem like massive jumps and will be pleasantly accepted by buyers in the market, these numbers are still below inventory numbers as recent as 2022, which was also a very competitive seller's market. With increased inventory, we would expect increased sales volume. Let's take a look at the numbers and see if that was the case. Nope. All sectors saw decreased sales volume in June, with San Bernardino County down 25%, Chino down 47%, and Chino Hills down 12%. Here is my personal theory on this. Schools were getting out, people were starting their vacations, and just frankly, a lot of people were not closing on home sales throughout the month of June. However, I would expect these numbers to rebound massively in July. So we saw that we had increased inventory and we had decreased sales volume. Well, that must mean that homes sat on the market for a very long time. Let's take a look and see if that was the case. Chino was the only one that saw an increase on median days on market, with Chino Hills and San Bernardino County staying about the same. These median days on market numbers remain very, very low, which means homes are still selling very quickly, something that buyers must keep in mind when searching for a home. With all of this seemingly contradictory data, what do you think happened with the median price per square foot this previous month? Let's check it out. You may have guessed this, but the median price per square foot went relatively unchanged in all sectors, with Chino Hills up just 2% and Chino and San Bernardino County remaining about the same. If the available inventory continues to increase, sellers will need to be more realistic about their list price, and this data is indicative of that. Just as we saw mixed results in the median price per square foot for the month of June, we see, although a little more moderate, the same thing in the median sales price. Let's check it out. San Bernardino County and Chino Hills saw moderate increases, and only Chino saw a reduction in the median sales price by about 5%. With that being said, we see strong values across the board, with San Bernardino County up to $530,000, Chino at $720,000, and Chino Hills with a median sales price up to $1,032,000. As we've mentioned, home values remain strong. Was Chino's numbers just a blip this month? Check back next month to find out. And now the question that every aspiring homeowner and maybe even homeowners looking to refi are wondering, what's going on with mortgage rates? Well, today we have Beny Rabuchin with Movement Mortgage to tell you about what's going on with mortgage rates, as well as deliver a specific tactic he uses alongside me to get your offer accepted. Take it away, Beny.
Thomas, thank you. Such great information. Listen, before I get into some of the tactics of what a successful buyer is in this market and the tactics that we're doing to help them succeed, let's touch on the interest rates and what's going on since our last market update from last month. So not a lot of big changes. We did have the Federal Reserve meeting. We've had some really big inflation reports. And as I talked about in previous market updates, there's really two major components of what the Fed is watching right now on when they're going to decide to cut the interest rates. And again, that is inflation. Their target rate is 2%. We're hovering in the mid threes right now, but it is trending downwards, just not as fast as what we'd like. And the other big component is the labor market. They want to see some cracks in our labor market. They want to see unemployment rise a little bit. We're hovering in that 4% mark, which historically speaking, 4% is considered a strong job market. So as we get into 4.1%, I know 0.1% doesn't seem like a big amount, but think about all the people that are working in the United States, which is about 150, 160 million. 0.1% of that losing their jobs is a big amount. So as we see unemployment rise a little bit, that's when we could start to see the Federal Reserve start to cut rates. Now, many believe, and per the Federal Reserve, right now we're kind of baking in that we might have one Federal Reserve rate cut by the end of the year. Now, some believe, based on the previous couple weeks and some more rhetoric from the Fed, that we might see that happen as early as September. Of course, Thomas and I will update you as it continues. But figure right now for a normal 30-year fix, we're hovering in the high sixes and the low sevens right now, which has been pretty much the norm for the last couple months. Now, we've had good days and bad days, but no major moves up or down. And we'll update you again as the weeks and the months progress. Okay, let me talk to you a little bit on what we're doing right now for a buyer in this market. Now, as Thomas has touched on, there's just not a lot of inventory. There still is a ton of demand of buyers out there. Yes, even at these temporary higher interest rates. So they're all fighting for very few homes available for sale. Now, what are we doing to make our buyers stand out? When you're competing against 2, 3, 4, 15 offers sometimes, and which we are seeing in this market right now, here are some of the tactics that we're doing. And the old tale, who you work with really matters. And I couldn't stress that enough in this market right now, and especially when interest rates come down, when more demand comes back into the market. Listen, working with your cousin who has their real estate license, but they don't really do it full time, that may have worked during the pandemic when it was just a free-for-all. But right now, when you're trying to position yourself on a house that you don't want to miss out on, working with a really good real estate agent, someone that has their finger on the pulse, that has relationships within the city that you're looking for. For example, we had a buyer recently. We were competing against 9 other offers. I happened to do a deal with the listing agent 2 months ago. So they know how I work, they know how we communicate, and they chose our offer over the other 9 offers because they know that we're going to be able to get to the finish line in a timely manner. So the same thing goes for the real estate agent that you're working with. More importantly, now another thing that we're doing from the lending side. So when you make an offer, you not only have your offer, but you also have a pre-approval letter, which is something that we supply to accompany your offer. Now, what many lenders do, and maybe I'm giving up some of my secrets, is they'll submit the offer and their letter. Now, a pre-approval letter, if you've seen one or not, is pretty basic. It says that we've looked through your stuff, and based on what we looked at, everything looks okay. So what we do above and beyond that is when that offer is accepted, Thomas will also put me on that email when they're submitting the offer. I will then put a video together very similar to this, and I go into a lot more detail about the due diligence, all the potential challenges we had and that we came to solutions, really that we've done a very thorough review of those financials to give the agent and that seller the warm and fuzzies that if they choose you as a buyer, they have been fully vetted and there should not be any challenges getting to the finish line. In this market, Sellers, of course, price is important. They also want to make sure they get to the finish line. So these are the things that we're doing right now, is a custom video that is sent to the listing agent. Your agent is also actively communicating with those agents. It is so important that the lender that you're working with, the agent you're working with, is building rapport. Your offer that is being submitted, that it's strategic, that it's satisfying what the seller is looking for in a buyer, not just blindly submitting an offer in there, but maybe touching on terms that will be helpful for the seller in that capacity. Again, so important in a multiple offer situation that you're working with the right people. We'll update you guys next month on what's happening with the market. Back to you, Thomas.
Fantastic information, Benny. We appreciate that very, very much. Now, if you're wondering what you may qualify for in today's market, or you wonder the steps you may need to take to get qualified, feel free to reach out to me directly and I'll get you connected with Benny. We hope that you found this information helpful, and if it was helpful, please be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the Thomas Ryan Real Estate YouTube channel, or follow me on Instagram at Thomas Ryan Real Estate. Both are completely free, and it is extremely helpful for me to be able to get this information out to you and others like you. Again, if you have any additional questions, always feel free to reach out to me directly. I can be reached at 909-334-2049, or leave a comment on this video or send me a direct message on social media. All right, until next month, have a good day.